You see, right from my childhood, there has always been this influence of spirituality, unconsciously, and it has always protected me. When I first met the mother, she was physically present then. The first time I met her was an experience which I think I will not only never forget, but that is what keeps me going, and that is something that has made me so fearless. When I first entered the room, I still remember I was 17 or 18 years old, 17 years old, I think. And I'd made a garland for her, shivli food, to offer her. So I just stood there. I went with my parents. I stood at the door and I saw mother sitting there on her chair, and she was slightly stooped there, and her feet on a footstool. I just saw her. That was the first time I saw her physically. I don't know what happened to her. She just looked at me like this once, just a look. And I started trembling. And I was weeping. I don't know what happened to me. I was really shaking from inside. And I was scared. I said, why is this happening to me? I was only 17 years old. I didn't realize what was happening to me. But I was weeping away. Weeping uncontrollably. And shaking from inside. I don't know whether it was outside, but I could feel it. But then I was wondering if I should go to her at all. Maybe she doesn't want me. Maybe she thinks I'm a sinner. You know? It's not happening to anybody else. Why me? So I must be the sinner. Parents can never be sinners, right? So I can. So I had to go. I quietly went up to her. I knelt down, and before touching her feet, I just looked at her. You know, I dared to. That's how daring I was. And nobody would have, after that experience, probably others would have refrained from meeting her eyes. But I had to look at her. I was tempted. So when I looked into her eyes, Sushi, I'll never forget those powerful blue eyes. And she looked at me, and I was just stuck there. And I just felt she was drawing those eyes were drawing everything out from me. And I had no control over myself. You know, it was like I was feeling empty. Mm-hmm. I don't know whether I'll be able to explain that feeling. It's not easy to explain. And I quickly looked away. And I probably couldn't see the power in her eyes. Powerful and crystal clear blue eyes at that age. So I bent down and touched her feet. I looked up and I looked at her eyes again. That look was gone.
So it's the connection that you had established.
I don't know. I was too young to understand any of that. And the 17-year-old of our times is different from 17-year-old today.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
He was simple or innocent, naughty, but innocent. So then she smiled at me, gave me a flower, blessed me, gave me a flower, and that was it. I came away. Didn't tell anybody anything. So when we were about to get married, my father had totally surrendered himself. So my father said, okay, I'll send both your pictures to her. If she approves, it's fine. I have nothing to say. So our pictures were sent, and she put them together and sent it back saying, I want to see them together. that's how we got married in her room, in her presence.
Oh, how lovely.
Right? That day, after a year and a half, I think, I told, used to call him Daddy. He was one of the trustees who took us there. So I told him, and that evening there was a tea party in Daddy's terrace, celebrating our marriage. That
In
was
Bombay.
in Pondy.
Okay.
In Pondy, of course. And then, of course, the social marriage was here 2 months later. So then I told Daddy, I said, Daddy, you know, I have to tell you something. I said, what is it? He says, you know, this is what happened to me the first time. And I thought I was a sinner, so I didn't tell anybody. Okay. I told him, and he says, why didn't you tell me? So I said, well, I thought I was a sinner, and who wants to be proved as a sinner? You know, I didn't want to expose myself as a sinner to anybody, because it wasn't happening to anybody else, it was only happening to me. He said, do you know that you don't have to worry about what you do in life anymore? She has taken all your responsibility.